Just what YouTube needs. Another cruise review. But first, a disclaimer. The following review is just my opinion and is strictly based on my personal taste and onboard experiences, so is therefore completely meaningless. Any negative comments are directed entirely towards the management of the cruise line and not towards any of the crew, who are the greatest, hardest working people in the service industry. This is my official review of the 3-night sailing aboard the Royal Caribbean Mariner of the Seas out of Port Canaveral, Florida, stopping in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and then on to perfect day at Coco Cay. Or was it? I want to break this down into 4 parts. Talk about the ship, talk about the food, talk about the entertainment, and then talk about the itinerary. So first, the ship. This ship was amazing. This is actually only the second time I've ever been on Royal Caribbean, so I have really nothing else to compare it to other than I went on Enchantment of the Seas like 2 or 3 years ago. Have not been on Oasis class, so I have no idea what the biggest of the big is like. A ship this size, I figured it would be super crowded. It actually never felt crowded, and it usually takes me a day or 2 to get my bearings from where my cabin is. This was a piece of cake. The flow was great, probably because of the Royal Promenade down the center.
Yeah, wait when you get out.
It was amazing. Basically like 3 stories, about a football field long, of a big huge courtyard. You've got cabins on the top 2, or the 2 floors on top, and then just stores and restaurants and bars down the Royal Promenade itself. That's where they have a lot of parties. That's where the pizza place is, a couple bars. Yeah, it's just spectacular. That was deck 5, and then below that on deck 4 and deck 3 you had a couple of other areas that had bars and restaurants, and deck 3 is where they had the Studio B, where they had the ice skating, which I'll get to, which was amazing. And after we checked everything out on the Royal Promenade, of course we went up to go eat, because that's what you do on a cruise ship. Went up to the Lido deck. On the top back of the ship you had the flow rider, the rock climbing, the vortex, which was, what is the vortex? Oh yeah, the vortex was like the virtual reality bungee cord jumpy thing. It's in this big sphere. I don't know, I didn't do it, but it seemed pretty cool. And then you got the cyclone water slide back there. Seems to be the typical thing on all the new amped Royal Caribbean ships that are coming out. But yeah, I was absolutely blown away with the size of the ship, and as many people are supposed to be on it, it never felt crowded, not even on embarkation day. Just kudos, Royal. Awesome ship. As far as our cabin went, I booked a guaranteed inside stateroom. Was expecting probably the worst cabin on the entire ship, because obviously I just went for the cheapest, but no, it was perfectly fine. Great standard inside cabin. It was quiet. There was no vibration. There was no noise. There was no shaking. Plenty of room for us. Again, it was just 3 nights. If it was 7 nights, definitely would have felt a little bit small, but no, it was a perfectly great room. Oh, and the internet was surprisingly fast. It's always hit or miss when you get on a cruise ship with the internet, but yeah, I had no problem uploading video, uploading any photography. Good internet. So when it comes to the ship itself, out of 5, that's a solid 5. Fantastic ship. Love the ship. Would love to go on sister ships. Would love to go on another Royal Caribbean ship. It was just beautiful. All right, that's enough about the ship. So what about the dining? Where should I start? I guess I should start with the bad. Okay. All right, so here's the deal. A 3-night sailing, one of the worst things in the world is a 3-night sailing. Actually, there is something worse than 3-night sailing, there's no saying at all. But one of the worst things there is a 3-night sailing, because you just don't have enough time to do everything and enjoy everything. And there's always going to be things that you miss out, or places you wanted to go that you just didn't have a chance to. That happened a lot to me on this one. Went to the main dining room all 3 nights. If I had to do it again, I would have skipped the main dining room completely and just gone to some of the other restaurants, like in the sports bar, got some wings or something like that, or grabbed some pizza. Just kind of had some more time to ourselves, because the main dining room food, it was just kind of average. And I completely blame it on specialty dining and all the upcharged food that you can get on the menus. It's pretty much across all cruise lines the way they're doing it these days. And I have a feeling they're not paying as much attention to the actual food that's served in the main dining room that's part of the complimentary package. So, sorry. Lido deck food.
Please wash your hands. Wash.
Hate to say it. Again, the only thing I have to compare it to is Enchantment of the Seas. And for some reason, I remember the buffet on the Enchantment of the Seas being incredible. Seems like it should be the same layout, same type of food. Wasn't. Just seemed, breakfast was very standard. The lunch when we were there for the first day was very standard. Just nothing jumped out. Wasn't spectacular. So definitely disappointed in that as well. And then this is just a nitpick, and this will be the last negative thing I have to say about the food. But I got a Bloody Mary for one of the breakfasts. And it's kind of funny because, again, when I was on Enchantment of the Seas, I was told to go see a specific bartender at the Solarium bar there, and said that he'd make me a great Bloody Mary. It's the most fantastic Bloody Mary I've ever had. Got a Bloody Mary for breakfast on day 2, I believe. May have actually been the worst Bloody Mary I've ever had. Sorry, it just was. Problem is, since we went to the main dining room all 3 nights and then went to the Lido Buffet, you know, in the mornings when we did, we skipped all of the other things that we could have done, like the pizza. Everybody's got to get pizza on the promenade, right? We completely forgot and ran out of time, so we didn't get any pizza. There's also a deli down there. Completely missed it. Like I said, the sports bar had like bar food in the sports bar. Completely missed that. Just not enough time to do everything, and we just chose poorly with the main dining room. They also had the specialty dining aboard. We did not partake of any of the specialty dining. Just had a thing with actually paying extra for food when I've already paid for food. But anyway, that's just a me thing. But from what I've heard and from other videos I've seen, is the specialty dining is actually amazing on there. So just a suggestion. If you're only on there for 3 nights, might want to look elsewhere. Did get the opportunity to go to a couple of the bars. Boleros, which is basically a Latin dance club. Excellent mojitos. Had to go down there to get a mojito. On point. Another bar I went to called the Bamboo Room. Basically like a Polynesian feel. A lot of rum drinks, a lot of specialty drinks in there. Really cool atmosphere, really enjoyed that place. Bartender in there by the name of Juan, my new best friend. He hooked me up with one of the most incredible drinks I've ever had. We were talking with some other people at the bar about an old fashioned and made some comment about how I didn't like bourbon. Sorry, I don't like bourbon. Juan was like, have you ever had a bourbon with rum in it? Absolutely not. So he made me an old fashioned using coffee rum. Best old fashioned I've ever had. So as far as the food goes, and this is strictly because of the main dining room and because of the Lido Buffet, I'm sorry, but out of 5, I gotta give it just a 3. Sorry. Next, let's talk about the entertainment aboard. I think the key to good entertainment on board a cruise ship is always going to lead with the cruise director. Ricky. He was different. About one of the craziest cruise directors I've ever seen. Actually, words can't really explain Ricky. So on night 1 we went to the 70s party, and then we went to the ice skating show. Yes, there's an ice skating rink on this ship. Actually, there's an ice skating rink on most Royal Caribbean ships, I think. But it's the first time I've ever seen it. Ice skating show was amazing. I've seen videos of it before. It seems really small in the Studio B, but when you're actually there, it's actually a good size and it doesn't feel small at all. As a matter of fact, we enjoyed the show so much, we went back twice. To it, the first and the third night, I believe. Yeah, it was really good. The late night show on the first night was the 70s party and balloon drop. It's in the promenade area. Basically, there's like this bridge that goes over top of the promenade, and the cruise director and activities members come out, and they're all dressed up in 70s garb and all singing 70s music, and everybody's packed on the promenade and dancing and acting crazy, and it was just a really good time. Pretty sure a lot of alcohol was involved also. And at the end of the night, they had a big huge balloon drop. It was just like New Year's Eve. In May. And on the third night, they had the 80s party, which, believe it or not, was just like the 70s party, but with more updated music. Again, fun time. Yeah, I think that one would be more skippable. Definitely 70s party over the 80s party. So then on night 2, There is the main stage show in the theater. That's actually one of the things that we've really started to enjoy on cruises of past is the shows in the main theater. And this one, 3-night sailing, so there's just one big one in the main theater. And quite frankly, it was kind of just meh. It was lacking a little bit. Again, the performers were great. It's just strictly production itself. It was just a little bit boring, a little expected, just kind of varietal music, but you know, you can't have a dynamite show on every single ship. Other music around the ship, there's musicians all over the place, in the schooner bar, in the sports bar, in the English pub, just variety of musicians everywhere. Royal Promenade, they were all excellent. Music everywhere you went. Really good times. Biggest disappointment I had, I saw a video of it before we went and wanted to see him so bad. It's a stowaway piano player, and just all over the ship. He just appears, he takes his piano and just appears all over the ship at any given time. We were waiting on the elevator one time and we heard music coming through the elevator shaft and realized it was a piano player. Doors opened up, there's a piano player with about 20 other people in the elevator.
That hurts me.
So we didn't even get to get on and sing with them. Bummer. Quest. If you've not heard of the Quest adult scavenger hunt that's on board Royal Caribbean, then you don't know anything about Royal Caribbean. Saw it on Enchantment of the Seas. It's pretty small, not a big deal. I've heard about it from other ships. I'm like, I don't get what the big deal is, I've already seen it. Saw it on this ship. It was in Studio B. They put a floor on top of the ice rink, basically had an entire arena around it, and I swear the entire ship was down there. It was the most raucous, crazy crowd I have ever seen, and it was definitely one of the highlights of the cruise. Warning, it could get very offensive down there. Again, a lot of alcohol involved. Let me see, what else was there? Let me see, there's a comedian on board. We didn't see him. He was kind of part of the opening night, the all aboard show, and he seemed kind of boring, but comedians are hit or miss. We've seen great comedians, we've seen bad comedians. It doesn't matter what ship or what cruise line you're on, it's just gonna be hit or miss. Oh, and I think there was like a headliner singer one night, kind of, I don't know, Michael Bublé-ish or something like that. Wasn't really interested, so we didn't go check him out. Oh. Probably the most surprising highlight as far as entertainment goes is the escape room. It is an upcharge of $20 a person, but if you get a chance, do the escape room. It was phenomenal. Thank goodness they pair you up with other people. I think there was about 10 or 12 of us in the entire group. And fortunately for us, some of them were actually smart, because I contributed not 1 ounce of any of the ideas to the escape room. But it was one of the most nerve-wracking things. You had 50 minutes to solve like 6 different puzzles, and each of the puzzles had like 6 different puzzles within them, and a whole bunch of things you could find and hold up and match up, and needed a lot of brain power. I didn't have any brain power, but we did beat it with 7 minutes to spare. And again, no thanks to me. Highly recommended. Just make sure you book it in advance. They have like hour slots throughout the days. You have to pre-book them, and again, it's $20 a person. Definitely get an escape room. So as far as entertainment goes, this is gonna be tough. Out of 5, I can still only give this one a 3 because the show was such a letdown. The comedian was just not there, and 80s show was just basically the same as the 70s show. But I will say it's an extremely high 3. Not a low 3, very, 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 very high 3, but still gonna give it a 3. Lastly, the Itinerary. Again, this was just a 3-night cruise, so we just had 2 stops, and it's always gonna be Bahamian in this type of scenario. So our first port was in Freeport on Grand Bahama Island. Again, it's the first time I've ever been there. It's very, very, very industrial, like a big oil refineries and everything right next to the cruise port. Not the most attractive place in the world. Didn't even have a straw market. They've got like this little small, kind of a straw market. Not a lot to do there, so instead of doing what everybody else was going to do with all the excursions through the cruise ship, we decided to take a taxi, and we went out to a place called Grand Lucayan Resort. Lighthouse Point or something like that. It's just a resort kind of like 20 minutes away from the cruise port, and not a whole lot of people were there. It was like $25 a day for a pass. It was not all inclusive or anything. It was just to get us access to the pool area and to the beach area. and to the facilities of the resort. All food and drinks would have been extra, which was completely fine because we didn't really eat or drink that much. No, that was a really nice resort. Seems like a steal for the money. The cab ride was I think $5 a piece each way, and then again the resort $25 a person. No, you couldn't beat it. I think the cheapest one on the cruise was to Tino Beach or something like that. It was like $69 a person from the cruise. Nah, I'm good with that. I'll stick with the 25. Perfect day at Coco Cay. You're gonna start hating. Okay, a little added disclaimer here. I am not a fan of private islands. When I go on a cruise and go somewhere, I like to get a taste of the culture, and you'll never get that on the private islands. Been to 3 different private islands. Been to Coco Cay in the past. Been to Great Stirrup Cay from Norwegian Cruise Lines. I've been to Castaway Cay from Disney Cruise Lines, and they're all basically the same. They're completely groomed beaches. It's like really rocky because they're basically man-made beaches on this island that they purchased. It was really just rocky, not a sandy beach, because it would have already been a resort on it. And then just a whole bunch of Royal Caribbean or Norwegian or Disney, whatever you want to buy there. It's just kind of an extension of the cruise ship, and just not a fan of that scenario. Having said that, Coco Cay is now by far the best private island out there, at least as far as the ones I've been on. But here's the thing I didn't like about it. So as far as the marketing and advertising goes, come to Perfect Day at Coco Cay because we've got this brand new lagoon pool. It's the biggest pool in the Caribbean. We've got a new water park with the tallest water slide in North America. We've got a helium balloon that you can rise 400 feet above the earth, the sea, whatever. And then what's the fourth thing? Oh, zip line. You got a zip line. Okay, so that's great. So that's the marketing. Get on the cruise ship, it costs you money. Go to Perfect Day at Coco Cay and enjoy everything we have to offer here. If you wanted to enjoy everything you have to offer there in the marketing, it's about $120 extra a person. I'm just not going to do that. The zip line was like $70. The thrill park, the water park, is like $30 a person, which is fine. Definitely got to do that. But the balloon was another $40, I believe, and then the pool was the only thing that was complimentary, and the pool was incredible. But basically, this thing is a marketing masterpiece. So we elected not to purchase any of the extras on the island. We just kind of wanted to have an enjoyable day at the beach anyway, which we did. It was great. But Royal Caribbean, you're killing me. You've already got my money. Can you just give me a little something extra for the effort? Again, the Oasis Pool was amazing. It was ginormous. I completely believe it's the biggest pool in the Caribbean. There was plenty of chairs. I mean, again, we had 4,000 people on the ship, so I'd say there's 3,000 people on the island. Pool did not seem super full at all. It did around the pool bar area, which is outrageous swim up pool bar. Absolutely love that area. But yeah, didn't seem too overly crowded at all. Again, we were only one cruise ship in port though. As far as the thrill park, the water park goes, didn't get a close enough look to it. It's kind of gated off to where you have to have a pass that you pay for to be able to get in and see it. But yeah, it looked completely outrageous. Would have liked to have done that actually. Zip line. Three, maybe 4 different lines, not through the trees or anything. It was just kind of kind of forming a square, going over the big giant lagoon at the end. Yeah, sure, if you like zip line. It looked very hot. Nobody looked comfortable getting off of that thing, and they were really sweaty. But the balloon, I don't get it. You pay $40 to go up in a helium balloon, about 400 feet. I'm sure it's a great view, but I don't get it. $40? I have a prediction. That balloon is going to be $20 or less or gone a year from now. But enough of my negativity. Loved the island. It was beautiful. We had a great time there. So my final thoughts on that are, if you like Disney, if you like the playgrounds, if you like that type of an atmosphere as far as an excursion goes, you will absolutely love Coco Cay. It is dynamite for that reason. If you want a bit of the local flair, it's not there. It's basically just the same old beach, the same old areas, the same old restaurants that they used to have. They just now have things that you can spend a lot of money on. So it really depends on what your kind of viewpoint is. Oh, and one little bit about the marketing again. difficult to call it perfect day in Coco Cay when it's raining for the first half of the day and they have to cancel half the zip lines. Just a little bit of a marketing glitch there. Just my opinion. So if I was to rate the itinerary on this 3-day cruise, sorry, I gotta give it another 3. Again, it's just a Bahamian cruise. You know what you're gonna get into when you book it. It is what it is. It's gonna be either Nassau or Freeport, and then perfect day at Coco Cay. If we would have done the thrill park and done all that stuff and didn't mind paying for it, I would definitely have given this a 5. But since I'm on the other end of it and don't necessarily like the private island, just not my cup of tea. So how would I rate this cruise overall? Awesome. Again, the ship, perfect. Absolutely love the ship. Would love to go on it again. The food, sure, wasn't the greatest food in the world, but it's better than what I'm used to. I'm on vacation. Entertainment, seen better entertainment, but there were some great performances on board. Had some great laughs. Really enjoyed the 70s party. Really enjoyed the escape room. Not gonna complain. The itinerary, so what? I didn't like the itinerary. I wasn't at work. I wasn't here at home. It was fantastic. I was in the Bahamas. I'll take that any day of the week. So that's it. That's all I've got. Now's your chance. Comment below. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm an idiot. Tell me why I shouldn't hate everything. Or tell me why you agree with me. And also hit that like button. Please don't hit any dislikes. I know you're going to hit a dislike, but please don't hit any dislikes. Again, just my opinion. It's just my opinion. I'm a moron. I don't know anything. I'm wrong most of the time anyway. Just ask my wife. So thanks for putting up with me till the end. Got a couple more videos coming up in the next few weeks. I'll be doing a review on the Carnival Horizon as well as one on the Celebrity Edge, which is probably my favorite ship in the world right now. So until then, I will see you next time.